The story of the 12 disciples did not end with Jesus' resurrection and ascension. Each of them carried the gospel to distant lands, and most paid the ultimate price. Today we remember how the 12 disciples died, where they died, and what their sacrifice means for us in the church today. Peter. Peter, the bold leader, was crucified upside down in Rome around AD 64 under Emperor Nero. He requested to be crucified this way because he felt unworthy to die in the same manner as his Lord. His death reminds us of true humility and unshakable faith. Andrew. Andrew, Peter's brother, was crucified on an X-shaped cross in Greece in the AD 60s. Even as he hung there, he continued to preach Christ to the people watching. His death reminds us to proclaim Christ even in suffering. James, son of Zebedee. James, the brother of John, was the first apostle to be martyred. In AD 44, he was beheaded in Jerusalem under King Herod Agrippa. His death reminds us that following Jesus requires courage, even when life is short. John, the beloved disciple, was the only one who was not martyred. He was exiled to the island of Patmos, where he wrote the book of Revelation. Later, he died peacefully in Ephesus around AD 95. His long life reminds us that God preserves some for lasting ministry. Philip. Philip was crucified in Hierapolis, in modern-day Turkey, around AD 80. His bold witness brought many Gentiles to Christ. His death reminds us that faith often bears fruit, even through pain. Bartholomew, also called Nathaniel. Faced one of the most brutal deaths. He was skinned alive and then beheaded in Armenia around AD 68. His martyrdom reminds us of the high cost of discipleship. Thomas. Thomas, known for his doubt, carried the gospel to India. There, he was speared to death around AD 72. His story reminds us that God can turn our weaknesses into testimonies of faith. Matthew, the tax collector turned apostle, was martyred in Ethiopia. He was stabbed to death in the AD 60s. His life reminds us that a transformed life can inspire generations. James, son of Alphaeus, James the Less, son of Alphaeus, was thrown from the pinnacle of the temple in Jerusalem and then beaten to death in AD 62. His death reminds us that even quiet, lesser-known servants are precious in God's sight. Thaddeus, who was also called Jude. Thaddeus, also called Jude, was martyred in Beirut, Lebanon, around AD 65. His death reminds us that even those less remembered on earth are remembered in heaven. Simon the Zealot. Simon the Zealot was killed in Persia around AD 65, likely by crucifixion. His zeal for Christ never faded. His death reminds us that God transforms passion into lifelong loyalty. Matthias, who replaced Judas, was stoned and then beheaded in Jerusalem around AD 80. His faithfulness reminds us that God always raises new workers for his mission. Every disciple followed Jesus to the very end. Their sacrifices were not in vain. They built the foundation of the church we stand on today. Some faced the sword, others the cross, some exile, and others brutal deaths. Yet they never turned back. Their courage reminds us that the call of Christ is worth everything. Today, we may not face crucifixion or exile, but we are called to the same boldness, to live for Christ, to stand firm, and to never be ashamed of the gospel. Which disciple's story spoke to you the most? Comment below and share this video to encourage others. And remember, the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church.